portal?
24 hours,
what's the way forward?
Yeah, I think we had 24 hours yesterday. Yeah. Hopefully by today, they will be able to. I don't know why they even
would they have
hours.
fixed these issues in 24
hours? Because you know it's a technical thing, and it's just about what you're pushing. You quickly just readjust. I think the most important thing is not even about this result alone. We pity the students who have faced this challenge because some of them who have celebrated, they are now being asked not to celebrate.
If you get A1. Yeah. I got A1. If you get D, WAEC gave me D.
Yeah, so now challenge is that
that's it.
It has always been happening. And because Nigerians don't have the habit of following things through, probably it is not just new. The fate of about 1.9 million candidates in the hand of an organization. These are future presidents. These are future governors. Some people may, for that development alone, some people may have gotten the shock of their life and they may not recover. So it is important for all of us to understand that we need to sit down. And I want to promise that on the platform of the Education Writers Association of Nigeria, we are going to have a conversation that is going to involve everybody. We need to discuss the craze for certificates, examination integrity, and the role that the skills can do.
Some parents who have high blood pressure now, I mean, when they get to see
I know how many parents who are getting across to me. Now, you don't even now know the problem. Let me explain this major challenge.
In 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds. Some of them, immediately they saw this result because they were waiting for the result to be able to upload on the portal for JAM, UTME, so that they can update their result. They have updated, they have uploaded. Now the challenge is that we JAM allow them to edit that once they check again. It's another conversation that we must have. JAM must listen to their plight and must be able to understand that they need to go back to that portal to now edit, because JAM will tell you that once you have uploaded, you have uploaded.
I'm sure that JAM can, bend the rules this time around, because
that is another
they have also been
even the internal members of JAM who are reaching out and say, please, so we understand our organization, we may not change, but it's important.
After they have also, they were the ones who led
we will continue this conversation because what we see here is a collateral damage, and hopefully it doesn't get to that.
And hopefully the next time we have you back will be
for good benefit. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Majid.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much.
Great. We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll have another interesting conversation here on Breakfast Central. Stay tuned. Welcome back. A wave of disappointment has hit parents and students and educators across Nigeria following the release of the 2025 WAEC results. Only 38.32% of candidates passed with 5 credits, including English and mathematics, a sharp drop in points of nearly 34% from last year. The figures have reignited concerns about the true state of education in the country. News Central's correspondent Sumaya Bubakar reports on this.
2 million students who sat for the 2025 WAEC, only about 754,000 met the benchmark for 5 credits, including English and Maths. With over 450,000 results still pending, stakeholders are pointing to structural failures in the education sector as the real cause of the drop, not just the crackdown on exam malpractice. For affected families, the pain is personal.
Many of the teachers who are running classrooms, teaching maths and English language, are actually entrusting the people who did not study these subjects. So you find lawyers who are teaching English language and teaching literature. You find mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, sometimes biochemists who, because the people who study mathematics are not available, have become the last resort.
I put my child to read very hard. I was assisting him for us to see the result. Honestly, we are very disappointed. For a person to get B3 for all the subjects and only Maths and English, the subjects that are very important, for him to get F9, honestly, I'm not happy.
With growing concerns over the standard of education, the quality of schools is also under scrutiny. And beyond the classroom, many students are battling distractions.
Now, you notice that some parents, in fact, most people take their children out to private schools. So parents now feel as if government schools are not doing anything, which is wrong.
You could see children of 13, 14 years old using phone to do what? To do social media, to do TikTok. Why? They don't have time to read. And the main reason why they don't have time to read is because they are dependent on the fact that school authorities will allow them to do malpractice.
With over 450,000 results still pending due to the issues ranging from verification to suspected malpractice, WIEC says investigations are ongoing. But this year's sharp decline has opened up a broader conversation, not just about exam conduct, but the overall quality of education and learning in Nigeria's schools. In Abuja, for News Central, Sumaya Abubakar.
The African Democratic Congress, a party hailed as the future of Nigeria's opposition, appears to be dealing with issues of internal tensions, leadership rivalries, and structural concerns beneath the surface, which appears to be threatening its momentum ahead of 2027. There are reports on Tuesday that some state chairmen of the ADC had called on INEC to resist any pressure to recognize any illegal change of leadership in the party.
But the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has denied these reports that the INEC has refused to recognize the Senate leadership under Senator David Mark-led leadership of the party. The National Publicity Secretary of the party had dismissed the reports as false, asking Nigerians to concentrate on the task of mobilizing the long-suffering people of the country for the great task of saving it from the hands of the ruling party. This morning, joining us to give us more clarity in this regard is the former Minister of Youth and Sports and now National Publicity Secretary of the ADC, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure joining you this morning.
It's a pleasure to have you. Two ADC state chairmen have called the Mark-led coalition a clandestine hijack of the party, with critics also arguing that the leadership change bypassed constitutional processes when former Senate President David Mark was made interim chairman of the party. How do you respond to these claims?
Well, I mean, you said 2 out of 37. That is 2 out of 37. That's if you add the Federal Capital Territory. But what I can also say is that these two you are talking about were part of a meeting we called earlier last month, just shortly after we joined the ADC. The chairman of the party, Senator David Mark, invited all the state chairmen to Abuja and assured them that they are going to keep their position, that nobody was going to show them off, that we only wanted to work with them. All the state chairmen, including FCT, were present and they all signed attendance. So we are surprised that suddenly 2 of them will go and be holding press conferences. But you see, we understand what is going on. From the start, we know that this, the ruling party, the ruling APC government does not want any opposition party to survive. So they will continue to recruit individuals like that to destabilize any opposition party. They tried everything to ensure that ADC did not survive up to this extent. But we knew what they were capable of doing, so we were ready for them all inch of the way. So you see, it has become lucrative now to hold press conferences and make allegations, and then some hoping that somebody in government will notice you and see you as a potential tool to be used for destabilization. I mean, for us, we've made it clear. Any member at any level that has any genuine grievances will be willing and ready to address those grievances. But if we have a feeling or we have the understanding that what you're trying to do is just to be the tool in the hands of those who would rather Nigeria is a one-party state, then we will deal with it accordingly. So we are not bothered. We took every step to ensure that everything that needed to be done in terms of the legal process was done. So we are not bothered by this heckling, if I may use that word.
Now, beyond your accusation that maybe the ruling party has a hand in this, if indeed the electoral umpire, INEC, recognizes the MAC-led leadership, then why hasn't the commission, INEC commission, uploaded or updated its records, particularly on its portal? Why doesn't it reflect the current leadership structure of the ADC? And it's the ADC leadership prematurely declaring legitimacy without the required institutional backing.
No, that's not correct, because the National Executive Committee of the party that brought the new leadership on board was held in Abuja in the full presence of INEC officials. So they are fully aware of what we have done. What happened was just procedural error, and we are doing everything to rectify it. It's not in this kind of atmosphere. In this kind of atmosphere, it's easy to suspect conspiracy at every point. And that's why we came out to debunk the rumor circulating that INEC has refused to.
So we should disregard the information on INEC's portal?
Yes, that's what I said. The letter that was written to communicate the report of the NEC to INEC was not properly channeled. And that's just the issue. There's nothing more to it than that.
Thank you for clarifying.
You can confirm this independently, yeah.
All right. Do you think that possibly INEC is indeed meddling with internal affairs of the ADC? Because some politicians, especially members of the coalition, are starting to say that INEC may seem to be a culprit in this situation, because even Ralph Nwosu still goes ahead to say he is the chairman of the ADC.
I don't think you have the correct information. I speak with Ralph almost on a daily basis. He has never claimed that he's still the chairman of ADC. Ralph has been at the vanguard of the coalition from the start, and he wouldn't say that. I don't know where that information came from. Ralph will not say that.
Now, has there been has there been any information? Has there been any attempt at reconciliation with the old guard of the party and the party's new leadership to engage aggrieved factions, especially those state chairmen who openly opposed the transition in dialogue and reconciliation efforts? Are there any ongoing as we speak?
You see, you need to, maybe I need to make you understand better what is going on. I've tried to explain. You see, the Yorubas have a saying that you can only wake someone who is truly sleeping. You cannot wake someone who is pretending to sleep. You know, for us, it's very clear what is going on. I mean, we don't have problems with any member of the ADC at any level. All these things you see are just contrived. I mean, if you have 37 state chairmen and you have 2 calling press conferences, what happened to the remaining 34? You are not talking about the remaining 34. Why are you so focused on these 2 that are just exemptions and trying to do something different? We don't have there's nothing to reconcile, because you use the word reconciliation. You see, we have a way of magnifying these issues and painting the image of a crisis, an ongoing crisis or an unfolding crisis. Yeah, I know it's good for the headlines, but we don't have any crisis in the ADC at the moment, and we don't have any reason to think that INEC is complicit in anything to destabilize our party.
Okay, so I mean, you did say earlier that the communique to INEC wasn't properly addressed. So has it now been, regularized? Has it gone through proper channels? And how soon are we expecting the INEC portal to be updated with the correct information?
Well, all we can do is to play our part, and we hope that INEC will also play its part rapidly, because the situation we are discussing has generated a lot of tension, not only within the ADC party, but also across the country, because Nigerians are desirous of seeing a flourishing multi-party democracy. So, if anything, and ADC has just proven that liberal democracy is possible, that we need virile opposition. And Nigerians have embraced this kind of democracy that gives room for a viral active opposition. So every Nigerian that is desirous of real democracy, quality quality democracy is also concerned in this kind of situations. Like I said, we don't have any reason to blame INEC for what's going on. But after we have played our part and they don't reciprocate, then we may begin to have a different conversation and begin to wonder what is going on. And we'll come back here and have this conversation again. But at this time, as yesterday, I have information that we have played our part. So we're watching the coming days. We hope that INEC will do what they need to do. I don't think there is anything to it. I don't think INEC is conspiring or trying to create problem. No, I don't think so.
All right. Let's also look at the Labour Party, the obedient movement, rather. There are talks that there seems to be some form of marginalization, even within the ADC. And they're a bit confused. We did have some of them join us here on the program. They're a bit confused if Peter Obi, who was present during the gathering of the ADC members, especially from different political parties. The obedient movement is worried that they're being marginalized and they do not understand what's really going on in the ADC. What's your take on that?
I saw the letter. I don't know if that's the same source of your information. The letter written by some individuals within the obedient movement, quote unquote, written to Excellency Peter Obi, was the letter that was written to their principal. Basically, I think they wrote the letter because they didn't have information. I'm sure that Mr. Peter Obi will have given them the right information, the correct information, because he was involved in the process of nominating the critical members of the leadership of the ADC today. I can mention to you that the National Organizing Secretary of the party, and if you understand party politics, that is the very heart of the operation of the party, the National Organizing Secretary, was nominated by His Excellency Peter Obi. So if there is going to be any marginalization, I think nobody is going to have that kind of position to allow him the opportunity to nominate someone to that position. So that's why I said the obedient movement probably don't just have the correct information at the time that they were writing the letter. And I hope that Mr. Peter Obi will have brought them up to speed at this time. So there is no marginalization going on. 3 days ago, I was with Mr. Peter Obi, His Excellency Peter Obi himself, and he hasn't said anything different from what he has always said from the start, that he is fully committed to the coalition.
Now, Honourable Bolaji Abdullahi, as we inch towards the 2027 elections, and we've also seen the gathering of political juggernauts in that meeting with heavyweights Nasir El-Rufai. We've also seen the former vice president officially resign from the PDP to join the fold of the ADC, and Mr. Peter Obi was also at that gathering. As we prepare for 2027 elections, as the ADC made a decision on which zone it will be zoning its presidential candidacy to, knowing that there's a gentlemanly agreement that typically the South does 8 years and then it goes back to the north, and seeing that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has been the first of these political gladiators to resign and officially fully commit to joining the ADC fold.
The ADC is not having that conversation at this time. For us, our commitment, as you know, we're a young party. Yes, ADC had existed for quite a while, but it is the first time they are really becoming a real opposition party, so to say, playing in the big league. So there's so much work to do, try to building the party into a real political party that's able to challenge for power. There's so much work to do within such a short time. But the most important thing for us is that we have clarity about the situations that have led us to where we are today as a country. We are convinced that the problem that Nigeria faces is political problems, largely political. All the problems that we face are consequences of the kind of politics that we have played. And we believe that if we are going to start to solve those problems, we have to embrace a different kind of politics. So that clarity exists at the highest level of our party. So there's a lot of conversation going on about, we've been talking about what the ruling party is doing badly and how they brought the country to its knees. Nigerians will want to know what ADC is going to do differently. We need to start to do that now, and that's more important to us than having conversation about who will take power. You see, if I may say this quickly, the conversation about who becomes presidential candidate, where they come from, is a recent development in Nigerian politics, and I don't think it's a positive development. Those of us who are around the Second Republic, or even as recent as at the early 90s, the military experiment, knew that the question of who becomes the candidate of the party, which part of the country they came from, was not an issue of conversation for public. It's left for the political party to decide who they want to and they want to win election. If they want to win election, they have to fill the right kind of candidate. If they don't fill the right kind of candidate, then they lose election. What's most important to Nigerians, or what's most important, to people who will be voting, is what does this party stand for, what does this party represent? And it's because of lack of this that has led us to the situation where we are in now. If APC, the ruling party, had been that kind of party that they should be, or that they promised to be, that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu would not have walked to the Eagle Square on 29th of May and said subsidy is gone, because whatever he will be saying will be derived from what his party has promised and what his party believes in. If the party had sat down to take a position on some of these principles of governance and have clarity of ideology on them, then it will not be left to an individual president to say that kind of thing. So we realize that these were mistakes that have led us to this point that we are in. And ADC is not going to go the same way. Otherwise, then we are not going to be different from the ruling party.
All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Abdullahi. I'm sure that we would indeed circle back to ask a few more questions as we look forward to see a political space that is indeed open for all. And then another big question, which would be, who is Nafiu Bala? But that will be for next time. Thank you so much for joining us. We're out of time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.